Madeline Brandon has changed a variety of times throughout the years. From the time that she was a kid, from the time to where I am now. Whenever I was younger, I had a big dream of becoming a professional dancer. Of course, that idea didn't come to fruition, but I had good aspirations. I danced for about 10 years and even got the privilege of dancing in a couple professional ballets. All the while, the dream still seemed so unreachable. So what did I do? I gave up and I moved on. We've all been asked that question once before though. What do you want to be whenever you grow up? In order to answer that question, we have to put our goals into perspective. So what are our goals? I had discovered through statistics that becoming a pediatric nurse practitioner will be an ideal job for the life that I plan to lead. What I want to be whenever I grow up has not always been the focus, but rather in addition, who do I want to be whenever I grow up? My future decisions remain forever impacted by the here and now of today. What I want to be whenever I grow up has really never fluctuated, other than the idea of becoming a professional ballerina, of course. Since I was in the 3rd grade, I have had the dream of pursuing life in the medical field. Now, as a 3rd grader, I really didn't have the idea to comprehend what life was quite like in the medical field, but I knew that this is what I wanted to do. Whenever I had a little bit of health problems, I remember before going into a procedure, looking up around at the doctors and the nurses and realizing that this is who I wanted to get back to. The ABC Training Center lists several advantages to working into the medical field. Number 1, the potential is to make great money. Now, whether you're into living big, nurse practitioner may not be the field for you, maybe more of a doctor, but in terms of living with financial stability, it is good enough for me. The satisfaction and the joy of helping people is a second advantage to working in the medical field. I worked in daycare last summer, and one thing that I learned with working with these children, and there is no feeling like connecting with these kids on a personal level. The third advantage to working in the medical field is that the work is never boring. Now, if you know me, I like to work on my feet and stay busy, a little too much at other times, but dozens of patients are coming through presenting new challenges requiring solutions every single day. According to the American Association of Nurse Practitioners, in order to be a nurse practitioner, one must become a registered nurse, hold a bachelor's of science in nursing, complete a nurse practitioner focused graduate master's or doctoral nursing program, and successfully pass a nurse practitioner board certification exam. Now, I plan to do all these things at College of the Ozarks. Now, there is a little bit of tussle of which college I want to go to, but still yet, that is the one that I had in mind. Now, after working in childcare last summer, I found where I wanted to be. Serving the kids made such an impact on not only who I wanted to be in the field that I wanted to go to, but also who I was as a person. It wasn't the instructional or the teaching part, but rather the opportunity to connect with these kids. Becoming a nurse practitioner provides that same opportunity. Now, each and every one of these children also had an impact on who I wanted to be. But who I want to be has changed so much since I was a kid, in terms of my interest, in terms of my struggles, in terms of my household and monetary goals, and also in terms of my familial standards whenever I grow up. But one thing that hasn't changed is those who have loved me, supported me, and raised me that have had a vital influence on who I strive to become. They have influenced me and made me want to be strong and independent like my mother, wise and a servant like my father, encouraging like my close friends, kind and sensitive like my sister, caring like my pastor, and loving like my Jesus. My goals have had an influence on who I strive to become. The goal of having a family and growing up has also made me contemplate what kind of a mom or a wife I want to be, and how I want to grow specifically even in the time and age I am now. The goal of having a financial stable future has influenced how hard of a worker even I am now. The goal of serving Jesus in every area affects how sensitive I have to be to walk in his will even now. Now, the act of growing up has never always happened in the future, but rather also in the present. When do we reach the point of the final product? When are our goals actually achieved? Because as people, we will never stop growing. So I ask the adults in the room, Who do you want to be whenever you grow up? Many still have yet to figure it out. But who are we striving to be? And if we aren't striving to be anything, are we growing at all? So the focus in growing up is never just what you want to do, but also who you want to become. So through the different experiences, my life has remained forever changed by these things. And we are even left with the question, so what do you want to be whenever you